Hi, I'm Michael K. Sahota. I want to share with you an important insight I had about asking for help. So, the title of this is Asking for Help is a Sign of Strength. Now, I just want to start by sharing a bit of my story around this. I first came to this concept of this specific phrase from Yves Hanu. It was 2010, and he was invited to speak at Agile Tour Toronto. This is quite some time ago. I was one of the conference organizers. And we did a session together. We did a workshop together, and I attended a workshop he was giving. And this is where I picked up that information. And I noticed at that time, it's like, ooh, I could probably doing a better job asking for help. So it's something that's been on my radar for, I guess, over a decade now. Now, why is this so important? Well, as we move from traditional ways of functioning, traditional ways of leading, traditional ways of governing our own behavior to evolutionary ones, asking for help is actually a critical function, because when we ask for help, number one, we get the skills and capabilities we need to be successful. So we're more successful immediately. But more important than that, we're actually modeling and signaling that it's okay to say, I don't know the answer to this. We're also signaling to other people that they are important and they matter because we're asking them for help. The final thing is that we're actually modeling a really like self-awareness and like a vulnerability to open up to say, hey, it's okay to say that we don't know. So there are all these good effects. Now, what was my big insight, my big moment, my big revolution? It's really that I realized that there were areas of my functioning in my personal life, in our work world, where I wasn't asking for help, where there were things that needed attention. And I was kind of just in the, oh, okay, that's a problem out there, but I wasn't looking, doing the work, which is what we teach. So that's why I'm saying it's a big awareness of mine. I wasn't really doing the inner work of understanding what am I not looking at? So this is actually part of a much larger arc of work I've been doing around looking at inner integrity and self-deception and understanding that. And there'll be a bunch of teachings coming out around that. But I just wanted to share about asking for help, like where this fits and why it's so important. Now, the biggest challenge about asking for help is us, like we're the problem, right? And so from an evolutionary perspective, when we move to an evolutionary mindset, we start to think, instead of looking at the external world, how can I fix this problem? We start to, you can see the guy looking at my head. We start to look inside our heads and say, hey, there's something that I need to pay attention to inside here. And, in my case, it was like this unwillingness to acknowledge that I needed help. Of this unwillingness to, it's almost like there was an aspect of my being that would be happier failing than actually asking for help. So where this fits in terms of our work, for those of you who know our complexity scale, this is an evolution of Kneffen's work for those who don't. I'm not going to go into the details. It's in the book, Leading Beyond Change. But asking for help, and people were telling me this for quite a while, which I didn't really actually fully pay attention to or fully get because it wasn't in my system, so I couldn't integrate the offer. That asking for help fits over here on the high side of the complexity spectrum. If we don't know what the right answer is, right? If we do not know because the situation is new, novel, we don't have expertise in it, we're not familiar with that situation, that's where we run experiments, where we don't know the answer and we guess. And whatever we think is our best guess, we run an experiment around that. This is the world of learning. So when we're in this world, asking for help is really, really powerful because we can find somebody who understands what's going on at a level that they have a best practice or they have a way to get data to come up with a reliable plan. Then we're actually creating much, much more success than we would if we were just running experiments on our own. But of course, our egos want us to be smart on our own and say, oh, I can figure this out. Let me just try this, blah, 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 blah. So not asking for help is actually an ego sabotage, kind of keeping us stuck and kind of spinning our wheels. Also, for over here in surrender, this is where when we honestly admit we don't know something and we open up to asking for help and receiving it, we can do that both on the 4D level as well as the 3D level. When we do that, again, we can go back to getting help to possibly bring the complexity level down to where we have a more clear answer, or just get somebody who can help us come up with a better experiment. So whenever we're on the higher side of complexity, and this is kind of the big update model for those of you who know our work, is to add the words ask for help in both this green and teal area, the higher end of the complexity spectrum. So that's the big update. So just to conclude, that evolutionary leadership is a choice to evolve. And when we make that decision to look inwards and notice what's going on, where are we not being honest or having integrity with ourselves about what's happening, it opens up so much possibility for success. And so asking for help, key point, really look, and this is the takeaway for you, where are there places in your life where you could be asking for help, but you're not? And what is the impact of that? So I'm running an experiment. I decided to just do a little playing with which is one of my favorite tools, and also use the better microphone. So if you have any feedback on this format, either the audio quality or the choice to use our studio here in Dartmouth, Massachusetts, I would love to hear your feedback on this versus the more informal style. Thanks so much, everyone. Hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.